Inside you, there are 12 invisible knots that bind your vital energy. Releasing them not only makes you feel lighter, it also gives back parts of yourself you thought were lost. They're not in your head, they're in your body. They hide in how you breathe, in your posture, in the tension that never leaves your neck, in that fatigue you can't explain. Each knot holds a memory, a fear, or an emotion that your soul hasn't let go of yet. Today you're going to travel the entire map of the energetic body from the sacrum to the jaw. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your body is the silent guardian of your story and the key to your inner freedom. Nothing in you is broken. Pain, stiffness, or fatigue are not failures of your body. They are signals from your soul. Every muscle, every breath, and every silence within you holds traces of what you once couldn't express. The mind forgets, but the body remembers. It holds a silent echo waiting for someone to hear it. Sometimes we think we're tired for no reason, that anxiety or lack of inspiration appear out of nowhere, but that's not the case. They're the invisible knots sending messages from deep within. Every tension, every hard spot, every discomfort is a story asking to be released. These memories don't disappear with time. Time doesn't exist inside the body. Everything that wasn't felt keeps vibrating, waiting for you to come back and complete it. The ancient sages already knew it. In Egypt, they taught that the body is a map of the cosmos and that each organ reflects a part of the inner universe. Hermes Trismegistus used to say, "As above, so below." When energy gets blocked inside you, that same rigidity appears in your life. Tension in the body, tension in life. Blockage in the chest, blockage in the expression of the soul. Modern science comes to the same conclusion, just with different language. The fascia, that tissue that surrounds every muscle and organ, stores emotional tension. It works like a living network of cellular memory. Dr. Stephen Porges explained that when the body is on alert, breathing becomes shallow, the voice fades, and the heart beats with fear. And Dr. Bessel van der Kolk showed that trauma is imprinted in posture, in breathing, and in everyday gestures. The body speaks what has not been healed. That's why, when you feel stuck, lack creativity, or repeat patterns, the root is almost always in those trapped knots. It's not the mind that needs more theory. It's the body asking to be heard. Every tension is a portal, not an enemy. The body doesn't punish, it protects. What hurts you today was, at one time, the way your system found to survive. To release is not to fight, it's to remember that you no longer need that defense. Breathe consciously. Place your hand on the tense spot and just feel the body starts to let go. Not because you force it, but because it finally feels safe. Behind every knot, there's an emotion that hasn't been experienced. Behind every shallow breath, there's a story asking for air. Looking at your body as a sacred book reveals to you that every symptom is a sentence written by your soul to guide you back to yourself. Releasing the knots not only heals the pain, it recovers vital energy, parts of you suspended in time. With every deep exhalation, a door opens. Every tremor, every tear, every conscious breath is a release. In that instant, your body stops being a prison and becomes a living temple. What you feel is not against you, it's on your side. Your body doesn't limit you, it shows you the way. Every tension you release reveals a truth, transforms a story, and allows your energy to flow again. It doesn't hold pain, it holds information. And when you learn to listen to it, everything in you moves in harmony with life. Liberation begins at the root. Deep within the body are the first three portals, the foundations of your vital energy. When they are blocked, the upward flow is interrupted and life loses its natural rhythm. They are the gateways to security, stability, and belonging. The first gateway is located at the sacrum and the coccyx, the root that sometimes feels frozen. Here dwells the most primal fear, the fear of not being safe, of not feeling supported by life. This knot holds the memories of survival, those moments when your body learned to tense up to protect itself. When it gets blocked, the lower back becomes heavy and the vital energy shuts down. The key is not to force anything, but to restore the body's natural movement. Slow breaths and gentle tremors teach it that there is no longer any danger, that it can let go and trust again. The second gateway is in the pelvic floor, the knot of control. Here, everything we fear to release is held. Emotions, frustrations, desires. It's the tension of wanting to hold on to everything. When it hardens, the energy stagnates and the feeling of blockage appears. To release it means learning to oscillate between contraction and relaxation, holding and letting go, accompanying the rhythm with long exhales. Each breath is a wave that cleanses and dissolves unconscious control. The third gateway is the psoas, the muscle of the soul. It is the guardian of an ancient fear with no name or apparent cause. When it is tense, the body lives in a constant state of alert, manifesting as anxiety, fatigue, or a sense of disconnection. Gentle, mindful movements combined with deep breaths awaken once again the feeling of stability and belonging. These three gateways form the foundation of being, the starting point of the energy that begins to rise. Releasing them allows the body to regain its natural rhythm, the breath to expand, and vitality to return. It is the first step toward a body that no longer struggles to survive, but learns to live in harmony with its original energy. At the center of the body, there is a sacred arch, a bridge that connects earth and sky, root and consciousness. This section goes from the diaphragm to the heart, and it is where emotion transforms into energy. Here you breathe, feel, and express your inner world. When it gets blocked, your breathing becomes shallow, your chest hardens, and your voice becomes muted. Releasing it restores the natural rhythm of life and allows the body to remember its power to create and feel. The fourth portal is in the diaphragm, the invisible boundary between the physical and the emotional. When it contracts, you breathe shallowly, constantly sigh, or feel an internal weight. This blockage appears when the body learned to hold back what it couldn't express. To release it, your breathing must regain its three-dimensionality. Inhale by filling your abdomen, ribs, and chest, and exhale slowly, letting the air expand in all directions. Each deep breath is a key that brings life back to the body. The fifth portal is in the solar plexus, the center of personal power. Here, emotion turns into strength or paralysis. When it's blocked, a knot forms in the stomach, pressure rises to the chest, or shame prevents you from moving forward. It's where the body stores frustration and the feeling of not deserving. To unblock it, place one hand on your abdomen, press gently, and make a sustained sound from your chest. The vibration dissolves the tension and transforms fear into presence. The sixth portal is located at the sternum and the pericardium, the shield of the heart. It is the emotional armor we put up so we won't be hurt again. Here is where what was not allowed to be felt is held back. Opening your chest, touching your heart with your hand, and breathing gently melts that armor. The body understands that it no longer needs to defend itself and that it can love again without fear. The seventh portal is at the collarbones and shoulders, the funnel through which energy rises toward expression. When it is blocked, the voice loses strength, the shoulders feel heavy, and the neck becomes stiff. Releasing it requires slow circular movements and deep breaths, clearing the path where the energy wants to rise. When this central arc opens, everything changes. Breathing becomes full, the voice regains clarity and the chest feels light. Emotion stops being a burden and becomes a creative impulse. Here, the energy of the body and soul begin to dance to the same rhythm. The body stops surviving and starts living from the heart. In the most subtle part of the body, the upper arc begins, where energy rises from the heart to the mind and consciousness. Here, the portals of expression, clarity, and inner truth open. These are areas where everything you kept quiet, everything you repressed, everything you didn't know how to say got trapped. When they get blocked, your voice loses strength, your mind fills with noise, and your creative energy fades away. The eighth portal is at the base of the neck and the hyoid bone, the knot of silence. Here live the unspoken words, the emotions that never came out. When it closes, that typical lump in the throat appears, or the feeling of not being able to speak authentically. To release it, gently move your neck while making a deep humming sound with your tongue relaxed. That vibration awakens your inner resonance and reopens the channel between the heart and the mind. The ninth portal is in the larynx, the gateway of air and expression. If it's tense, the breath is cut off and the voice loses presence. Breathing gently, letting the air pass through a narrower channel, reorganizes the muscles and releases the retained energy. Each conscious exhalation brings truth back to your voice. The 10th portal is in the jaw, where unexpressed decisions accumulate. That's where the yes you never said and the no you swallowed live. Conscious yawns and slow circular movements help to release that area and dissolve excessive control. And yes, when you relax your jaw, the mind also stops clenching so much. The 11th portal is in the tongue, a direct reflection of your thoughts. When there's tension there, the mind becomes restless, repetitive, almost like a broken record. Massaging the base of the mouth and gently sliding the tongue along the palate helps to quiet that internal noise. The 12th portal is located at the base of the skull, connected to the vagus nerve, the guardian of balance. When it gets blocked, fatigue, disconnection, and that feeling of being switched off set in. Slow movements, prolonged gargling, and deep sounds reactivate inner calm. When these portals open, the energy rises without resistance. The voice becomes clear, the mind quiets down, and awareness awakens. At that point, you no longer speak from your head. You speak from something much deeper. When you go through the 12 portals and the energy starts to flow again, something inside you begins to awaken. And no, it's not just about releasing physical tension, it's about freeing memories that have been silent for years. It's a reset, a return to the natural harmony between body, mind, and what you are, in essence. Every knot you release frees a part of you that was trapped in the past. A repressed emotion, a silenced voice, a strength held back for too long. This is not just healing, it's rebuilding yourself from within. When the body regains its rhythm, it becomes the perfect instrument again for creative energy to express itself. The ancients understood this clearly. The body not only sustains life, it writes it. When a channel opens, the whole system changes. When the breath flows, consciousness does too. Nothing in life is static. Everything pulses or everything breathes. And when that pulse is interrupted, you get stuck. Releasing these knots is about regaining that rhythm. To move with life again, not against it. Every conscious breath, every small movement rearranges what happens inside you. And this is where the ancient and the modern meet. Neurobiology shows that the body can reprogram itself. Activating the vagus nerve changes your state. You go from fear to calm, from closed off to open. Even your cells respond to what you feel, to how you breathe, to the energy you hold. Everything in you is designed to resonate with life. Every deep breath, every release is an act of creation. The energy you once used to hold tension now becomes clarity, intuition, and direction. It's like waking up from a long dream and finally remembering who you are, and no, this doesn't happen overnight. It's a silent, subtle process. It's built in small moments of presence. As you free the body, you also free the mind. And when both align, something new appears, a way of being in life that no longer seeks to control, only to flow. Releasing these knots is returning to inhabit yourself fully. It's realizing that the energy that moves you doesn't come from outside. It was always inside. And when your body vibrates in coherence with who you are, life stops being a struggle and starts being creation. When the knots start to loosen, the body stops feeling rigid and returns to its natural state, a living temple of consciousness. It's no longer just flesh, bone, and organs. It's the place where the energy of the universe takes shape within you. Everything is in there. What you lived, what you felt, what you dreamed, and also the ability to reinvent yourself with every breath. The body is not an obstacle to the spiritual. It's the direct path. Every cell beats to the rhythm of your story. Each breath is a kind of silent prayer, but when there are blockages, that energy doesn't flow freely, and something inside you feels divided. That's why releasing these knots is not just about relieving the body, it's about allowing the light to take its place again. The ancient traditions understood this clearly. For the Egyptians, the body was a temple with sacred chambers where the forces of creation dwelled. The alchemists saw it as the furnace where matter and spirit merged to create inner gold. In the East, they spoke of channels and energy centers that reflect the laws of the universe. Different cultures, same message. If you know yourself through the body, you understand the whole. And now science is starting to catch up with them. Every emotion leaves a physical mark. Every thought changes your character. Neurochemistry, neuroscience, and epigenetics confirm it. Your body responds to what you feel, to what you think, and to how you breathe. When you choose calm, your nervous system reorganizes itself. When you breathe with intention, your biology changes. Your body is listening all the time, even when you aren't. To inhabit the body with presence is to return to the origin. It's to place your hand on a tense area and without words, say, I no longer need to fight. You inhale, you trust, you exhale, you let go, and that's when something real happens. Fear begins to turn into trust. Rigidity turns into movement. Density into something much lighter. It's not about control, but about allowing. Because the body doesn't punish, the body warns. Each tension is an unfinished lesson, an emotion not felt, a part of you waiting to return to the flow. Listening to the body is listening to the soul. And when you truly do it, without forcing, the blockages start to fall away on their own. The energy recognizes presence and it surrenders. That is the true power of the body, to be the laboratory where you cleanse your energy and expand your consciousness. You don't need to escape from it to awaken. You need to go deeper because the more you inhabit it, the more it reveals to you. And the more you accept it, the more it aligns with the force that sustains life. Then something subtle but definitive happens. You stop living from the mind and you start living from the vibration. And that's when you realize the same energy that moves the stars is the one breathing inside you. The body becomes your altar. The breath becomes your practice. The silence becomes your connection with the eternal. And at that point, do you remember something that was always there? You are not separate from creation. You are creation expressing itself as a human. When you go through the 12 portals, something in you never goes back. You are not the same. You have gone through your roots, your emotions, your voice, your mind, and you have felt how life returned to places that were asleep. And even though it seems physical, it wasn't. It was an initiation. The moment you remember that you can transform from within, each knot was a story waiting to be released. And by letting it go, you not only made space, you recovered parts of yourself, energy, clarity, or strength that was buried under layers of tension. What used to be stiffness now flows. What used to feel heavy now feels light. The body stops being something you have to fix and becomes a teacher that guides you. Each breath starts to tell you something. Each sensation becomes useful information, not noise. When body and awareness align, everything rearranges. You make better decisions. You feel without blocking yourself, and the mind for the first time calms down without you having to fight with it. But this is not a one-time achievement, it's a practice. It is cultivated with every conscious breath. However, there's something that almost no one is going to tell you. Getting here is already part of the change, because while others get distracted, you are facing yourself, facing what hurts, facing what weighs you down, facing what makes you uncomfortable, and not everyone can do that. Start letting go, not for me, for you. So it's clear that this time you won't look the other way. The ancients said it clearly. Awakening is not leaving the body. It's inhabiting it completely, understanding that what you're looking for is not outside. It's beating inside you. That understanding isn't learned, it's felt. And when you feel it, there's no turning back. This is the end of the journey, but it's also the beginning of another way of living. From here, every breath is an opportunity. Every conscious gesture is a way to anchor yourself in the present. It's not about being perfect. It's about not disconnecting, because even when tension or fear returns, and it will, you won't see them as enemies anymore. You will recognize them as signals. Parts of you that still want to be heard. Now do something simple. Close your eyes. Feel your body from the bottom up. Inhale slowly, and as you exhale, let go of control. Let the energy start to move. Imagine a current rising from your sacrum to your head, passing through every portal you opened. And no, it's not just imagination, it's your attention. Moving your energy, breathe, and listen to the silence. Because inside, everything falls into place. You don't have to search anymore. What you wanted to find is already within you. The body is the map, the breath is the key, and your presence is the door. When energy flows, the soul expresses itself effortlessly. Life starts to fit together. Decisions come naturally. Creativity appears, and fear stops being a threat and becomes understanding. You have returned to the origin, but now you see it differently. The world doesn't define you anymore. You know your power's source. Close this cycle with something simple but real. I untie the knots in my body, and I activate my creative energy. It's not just a phrase, it's a decision, because freedom isn't found outside. It's felt inside. Life doesn't start after awakening. It's happening right now, in every breath, in every sensation, in every moment when you are present. And when you understand it, you realize something crucial. The body wasn't the obstacle, it was the path, the teacher, the one that brought you back home, because awakening isn't about becoming something new. It's remembering you already are everything.